You know, being a music producer in 2025 isn't what most people think. It's not just about making beats and working with artists and living the dream. I mean, in reality, it's a constant grind. The industry is oversaturated. I mean, everybody's a producer. Everybody's a singer. Everybody's a songwriter. Everybody's an artist in some way, right? And so the market can feel oversaturated. AI is taking over. AI is taking over, right? The T800s and the T1000s are coming, and they're going to be the one making music today. And making money is harder than ever. I mean, look at Spotify, look at any streaming platform, how much money you're getting. So if you're a producer or thinking about becoming a producer, you're gonna need to hear this. In this video, I'm breaking down the harsh realities of being a music producer in 2025, what's changed, the biggest struggles we face, and most importantly, how to survive in this industry. Now, this video is a culmination of the many, and I mean many, conversations that I've had with Grammy-winning music producers, Grammy-nominated, gold, platinum, multi-platinum producers over the past 5 years. Now, you can go back and check all of the past interviews and podcast segments that we've done. And so whether you're just starting out or you've been grinding for years in this music production field, you're gonna wanna watch this video, right? Trust me, I'm gonna break all those conversations down in this one video. So this video is going to be a slightly longer one, right? I think all my videos are not like short 10-minute ones. I can't give you everything in 10 minutes, right? So it's gonna be a longer video. I'm just gonna lay that out there right now. So here's number one, let me jump right into it, is oversaturation and competition. I mean, let's be real, there are more music producers now than there have ever been before. A decade ago, if you wanted to be a music producer, you wanted to make beats, you had to invest in expensive hardware, expensive equipment, learn complex software, and actually understand something about music theory. But in 2025, anybody with a laptop, a MIDI keyboard, an audio interface, and access to any of these different AI tools can call themselves a producer. Every single day, right? Every single day, thousands of new beats are uploaded to YouTube and to Airbit and to BeatStars and Instagrams or wherever else these beat stores are, making the market completely oversaturated. No matter how fire your beats are, there's competition that's going to be out there. There are thousands of other producers that make the same exact type of beats that you probably make. I mean, let's just be real. There are 1,000 producers making the same exact type of beats that you're probably making today. I mean, look at any beat marketplace or YouTube and search for a Drake type beat or a Kendrick Lamar type beat. You know, I got to put that in there because, you know, that little beef that they had. But if you search for type beats, I know type beats was a thing, it's probably still a thing. Not really sure. I never bought into the whole type beat thing, but whatever. You're gonna see endless results. I mean, there's gonna be tons of results. The problem is, most of them are gonna sound identical, or at least identical or close enough in some way where there's really no differentiation between those two. And trust me, I get it. I mean, it must be hard being an artist, listening to the same beat after the same beat after the same beat. I mean, the choices can be overwhelming. It's like, I'll just pick one because they all sound the same. I mean, I think it's turned into a race with producers trying to race to the bottom, right? Where they are slashing their prices just to make that sale. I mean, I get it. Producers are really like, hey, I was talking to somebody. Once again, this is a video that talks about the challenges, struggles of being a producer. I was talking to, I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not. Say it though. Wishmaster back in St. Louis, who kind of coined himself as being the beginner of beat leasing or beat sales in that way. And we had a conversation one day. He was like, look, he said, for me, it was just, I looked over and I saw a bill and I was like, oh, this bill is $52.99, boom. I'm selling this beat for $55. And it was just to pay bills, right? And it was like, yes, you should get paid from what you do creatively, but are you doing that at the expense of racing down to the bottom, decreasing your overall beat sales? I mean, because when you really think about it, there has been a lot of demonetization of music over the years, specifically when it comes to beat sales, right? I mean, some producers are even leasing beats as little as $5. I mean, who's really putting 5 hours of their time into making a beat to sell it for $5? But I understand that there are people out there that are doing it. Once again, it kind of creates that race to the bottom. It's kind of making producers sell at a lower value. And that's an argument that has been going on for years, right? I mean, even to the point where you got producers who are out here just giving beats away for free, just to build relationships with artists. Now, I remember talking to, or in, matter of fact, it's in that music production panel that I put on about a couple years ago with Focus over at Aftermath, and I asked a question about beat leasing, and Focus was like, "You gotta." I don't want to misquote it, but you got to go back and listen to it. But you can only actually listen to it if you're a member of the channel. But he said something in relationship to, pretty much he was saying it's better than nothing. I guess you can kind of sum it up that way. I don't want to misquote what he said, but it was, I may just stick the quote in here somewhere, a clip of that, of what he said. Maybe you may see it, you may not, but if you want to watch that full conversation on music production, you got to become a member so you can actually see it. But he talked about it's something like it's better than nothing. You didn't have anything before, and if you sold it for $50, you now got $50 when you didn't have $50 before.
I think that 100% of nothing is nothing. And if you get some kind of return on what you have in your hard drive, then you've done something amazing and you started your road to wherever you're going. Bro, I didn't start off getting $10, $20, $30,000 a beat. I started off doing beats for my boys for $50. I started off doing beats for my boys for nothing and getting a free haircut, or, you know what I'm saying? You start doing things that help you advance, and you have to understand what your journey is to understand that, man, 100% of nothing is nothing. I got all these beats and I haven't sold anything because I'm waiting for the big payoff when I'm with Dr. Dre or when I'm with Rick Ross and when I'm with, that's going to take some time.
You know, you spent 10 hours making that beat, and so now you got $50 for it, I guess. I mean, beats are practically being handed out. I mean, how do you stand out? How do you stand out from this? The other challenge is that the algorithms don't reward the best music. They reward the best marketing, which is why marketing and branding is so important. I mean, platforms like YouTube and TikTok push out viral content left and right. Not necessarily high quality beats, right? I mean, it's whatever is trendy, whatever has that virality that is with it. I mean, that means producers who understand branding and content creation are often the ones that are getting the most attention rather than those who are just simply making great music. And I know tons of producers who make fantastic music. I mean, hands down, music that would smoke a lot of producers that you got probably in your mind today as being the hottest producers. The issue is they don't understand marketing and branding. Even if you try to tell them, I don't get it. They just don't, right? I mean, even if you're just uploading beats and hoping for the best, I mean, you're losing, right? You're playing a losing game in 2025. If you're just like, I'm gonna put this on BeatStars. I'm gonna put this on Airbit. You know how many producers are on BeatStars? I may have to look that up. You know how many producers are on Airbit? Oh my goodness. When you think about it, BeatStars is the premier platinum music beat store ever, and everybody's a producer. So guess where everybody goes to post up their beats? Now, unless you're DJ Pain One and Dream Life, and I can't remember some of the other ones up there. I don't know. I always ask questions about BeatStars. If you go back and look at, and no shade on BeatStars, right? This has nothing to do with BeatStars. They just provided a platform that gave access and visibility to producers' music, right? I'm not saying that they're at fault for it becoming oversaturated, and every producer in the world is on BeatStars, which makes it difficult for a lot of people to truly stand out or to really have their music featured. I don't know how it works. I don't have a BeatStars. I'm not really sure how that works in relationship to marketing on their platform and branding on their platform and how you get visibility. I'm not really sure what that looks like. But I do understand that in 2025, success isn't just about talent. It's about visibility. It's about strategy. It's about having a unique identity that makes artists want to come to you instead of going the other way. I mean, the bottom line is this. If you're just another producer making those quote unquote tight beats, you have no distinct sound, no brand, you're going to get lost in all the noise in the sea of all the other music producers that are out there. I mean, you got to build something memorable, something that makes you stand out in a sea of competition, because the market is not going to slow down, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. And if you don't find a way to separate yourself, you're just going to be another name in the crowd. My point number two is that AI and automation could be taken over. I know a lot of people fear AI, right? I'm not a fear of AI. I understand you have to figure out how to use it, right? I mean, this is not like the T-800s and the T-1000s, Terminator, of course, right? Coming to take over and make the beats and all that stuff. This is not Skynet and all that. But AI is here to stay. AI is changing music production faster than anyone ever expected. And whether you like it or whether you don't like it, AI is going to be here to stay. So a few years ago, AI was just a tool to assist with mixing and mastering. But now AI can generate full beats, full melodies, and even entire songs in seconds. Right? There are artists out there already making music with AI generated beats, AI generated vocals, and AI written lyrics. And the crazy part is listeners can't even tell the difference. I mean, you even got Timbaland, one of the most illustrious producers in the music industry, using AI and is promoting it and is showing you all the things he's doing with AI tools.
How did he get the cadence? Do you understand, like, as a creator, as a producer, every beat that I do, I can put something on it. I just gotta prompt it right. Now it might not have the right lyrics, but like if it give me like sources of how many melodies? So that's the one that spit out. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the one.
And if you don't think major record labels are involved, major labels, oh gosh, yes. They're not gonna come out and tell you, but I'm almost 100% sure that major artists, major labels, independent artists, people are looking at it and experimenting with AI to cut costs. You don't think record labels are doing it? I mean, didn't they come out with an AI artist like a couple years ago? You don't think music companies are already looking at AI and how to use AI? Shoot, you even got the film industry looking at AI and how to use AI in the film world. Yes, granted, we know they got computer generated graphics and all that stuff that they've been doing for years. But I'm talking about using AI in a way where you don't really got to pay other people. Why pay a producer thousands of dollars when you can generate a beat for free? Why hire a session musician when AI can create that guitar riff or that drum loop or that particular sound that you need, and it sounds just as good? The industry has found a way, and it will continue to find ways to underpay producers, and now AI is giving them another excuse. I mean, you look at your DAWs, right? AI-powered DAWs can analyze trending sounds. They can generate beats that mimic top charting songs. I mean, that means if you're really making tight beats with no unique style, AI is already going to put you out of a job. Right? AI can do that faster and free. Give me a Drake type beat, or give me a beat in the style of X, Y, and Z. You know, a lot of them are saying we can't create it in the style of Drake or Kendrick or Cole or what, Big Three, anyway, and, you know, or whatever that you're looking for. But you can kind of give it prompts. And I'm just telling you, AI may not be perfect yet, but it's getting crazy good though. It's getting crazy good. It can even generate endless variations of melodies, right? Different melodies from the same song. I mean, it can come up with chord progressions and even mixed tracks. I mean, the question is, where does that leave the human producer? Where does that leave you? Where does that leave me? Producer who is just dragging and dropping loops and following trends are going to be in trouble. But the producers who are bringing real creativity, innovation, emotional storytelling, soul to their music, we are still going to have a place in this music industry, because I mean, AI cannot replicate true artistic vision and soul. So how do you stay ahead? Instead of just fighting AI, you got to figure out how to use AI as a tool. AI can speed up your workflow, help with arrangement ideas, and assist in sound designing, but it should not replace your creative decision making. Most producers probably try to use it that way, but it should not be used that way. I mean, you got to focus on what AI can't do, which is building the relationships, understanding, you know, an artist's vision, creating music with real emotion. AI can just generate a beat, but it can't replace the human element of the music production. The producers, all of us who embrace technology without losing our originality, we are the ones who are going to be set up for success. We are the ones that are going to survive in this new era. Point number 3 I want to make is all about something that has been a discussion from now and it's going to be a discussion in the future, is streaming royalties and financial struggles. I mean, let's talk about money, because at the end of the day, no one wants to spend years perfecting their sound, their craft, just to be broke. I don't know. I mean, could that be the reason why producers are selling their beats for $5? I don't know. I mean, but here's the harsh reality of what I can tell you. Based upon all the conversation, once again, this video is a culmination of all of the interviews and conversations that I've had with producers over the last 5 years. We know streaming pays producers almost nothing. The average payout per stream in 2025 so far, right, even in 2024, is still around 0.0032 to 0.005 cents. Meaning that a song is not even, that's getting millions of streams, is only going to give you about $3 to $5 grand. Yes, I understand it's $3,000 to $5,000 that you probably didn't have before. But that's before the label, the artist, the distributor take their cut. I mean, by the time you get paid as a producer, you might only see a few $100 if you are lucky. So you take the $5 you sold it for, and the $200 you probably got on the back end, and now you got $205. And so you made, it's more than what you had, right? It's more than what you had. And even when you do get placements, getting paid on time is a nightmare. Major labels are notorious for delaying payments, and if you don't have your paperwork in order, which is why it's important, you may not even get paid at all. Once again, I've talked to many producers, and they've talked about how they didn't have their paperwork ready in the beginning, how they got paid little royalty percentages for the beats that they made. You got producers that are still waiting on royalties from songs that they worked on years ago. Heck, you got producers who haven't even been paid for songs that they probably are working on today. Not paid up front, not paid in royalties. You got publishing splits and back-end royalties, and all these things can be a confusing mess, especially if artists and managers aren't being transparent about the paperwork. If you don't actively track your earnings and fight for your cut, you may never see a dime, which is why you got companies like, I'm gonna give you a shout out, my girl Tammy Luttrell over at the Mezzo Agency, which can help you find all of the money that you've been missing or you should have been paid, right? Go to their website, themezzoagency.com. Once again, as a matter of fact, just go check out the interview that I did with Tammy Luttrell talking about all of that type of stuff, right? But anyway, give her a plug for that, because she has a passion for doing that, helping people find money that they're owed and that they can't figure out where it is. Once again, which is why it's important for you to understand the music industry. And if you really think about it, beat sales aren't what they used to be. There was a time when beat leasing was the model, right? There was a time when leasing completely took over, with most producers selling beats for 20, 30, or even less. Of course you had exclusive beats that you could sell. Those became rare, mostly because artists would just lease multiple beats for cheap, right? Instead of just investing in just one exclusive. Right? Let me just get all these non-exclusives over here. Let me get, you're gonna charge me $500 for an exclusive, but I'm just an artist over here trying to make an album. Let me just take that same $500 and buy 10 beats, right? Boom, now I can put out 2 EPs, in the first 6 months, and then in the second 6 months, I got 2 EPs off of $500. Why? Because you're selling your beats for the cheap. But they could do that, right? Artists got to get smart. If producers are going to sell their beats for the cheap, why not get smart artists about how to purchase those beats and how to put out the music? The thing is, we already talked about the market being oversaturated. So you're competing with thousands of other producers across the globe selling similar beats that you're probably making, which forces those prices to lower and lower and lower and lower, right? To make it even worse, AI is generating beats that are starting to flood the marketplace as well, making it even harder for all of us traditional producers to justify our prices. Why should I pay you $500 when I can get this beat over here for $5? Tell me why, producer. I need to be able to do that. It's going to be hard for us to justify that. Now, back in the day when they were making tons of money, I'm trying to remember the interview I had with Nick Fury, who made the Game Over beat for a little flip. He was talking about how much he charged Busta Rhymes for a beat. 15 grand? I think it was 15 grand, right? He was like, yeah, 15 grand, boom, all right, cool. Paid 15, maybe it was 15 grand. But you had Timbaland and them making a buku money back in the day. I don't think they're making buku money like that today, right? A lot of things have taken place. So how do we as producers make real money in 2025? The answer, of course, is going to be diversification. Relying not only on streaming, right? Not relying on beat sales. That's going to be a losing game. Producers now who want to thrive are going to be the ones who have multiple income sources coming in. Diversification, right? That's just how it's going to be. Whether you're doing sync licensing, of course, it was a huge opportunity for TV and film and commercials. And from what I understand, they pay way better than actual making beats and selling beats to an artist. You don't believe me? Go ask Anthony Clint Jr., right? Go ask The Fingers. Go ask London Elixir, Jay Nolan, right? Go ask all of the people that were on Sync Masters, Ian Brahms, Dre Phantom, right? And there's more that I can name that are making a complete living from sync licensing. They tapped into it. They unlocked the cheat code to that, right? And if you're not into sync licensing, you want to make sample packs and sound kits. They're another big revenue stream, with some producers making a lot of money from selling their drum kits and their loop packs than they ever did from making beats. Heck, go to thesamplelab.com, right? A lot of people in their dream life, DJ Payne One, who else makes, and they actually make some killer stuff on there. Then once again, of course, you got the licensing you got to go through and all that stuff. So shoot, my homie, Versatile Tracks. Matter of fact, DJ Payday, they do all these same type of selling loop kits and sound packs. Heck, I didn't put it in this video, but now that I'm thinking about it, why not do streaming of your beats Or like T-Pain, right? T-Pain makes more money from streaming video games and all that stuff than he does from music. It's so crazy. There are things that you can do, right? If that's not your thing and you like mixing and mastering, why don't you offer those services to other people? Making beats may not be the foray into the music industry. It wasn't for me. I can tell you that. Other things kind of put me in spaces and places that I found myself in. And it wasn't beats. It was other things that I was doing. But if you do offer mixing and mastering services, this can be lucrative for you. If you're an engineer, might as well do it, right? If you're not a mix and master, which I don't, but if you do, that could be a way for you to do it too. And for those who have a loyal audience, get a subscription-based content like a Patreon or a Substack or a private beat store. All of these things can generate income for you as well. I mean, the bottom line is that if you're just relying on beat sales and hoping for streaming royalties, you're setting yourself up for financial struggle. I mean, the producers who think like entrepreneurs, build multiple revenue streams, and adapt to the changing industry are going to be the ones that are actually making money. The fourth thing that I wanted to point out in this video as well, from conversations that I've had with many music producers over the past 5 years, is the decline of album and beat sales. Albums aren't what they used to be. In 2025, the music industry is dominated by singles, right? Who's putting out albums? I get it. You know, we've talked about it on the podcast. I've talked to many producers about it, about putting in an artist putting out actual albums versus putting out singles, because TikTok hits and viral moments is currently what exists. Labels and independent artists are only focused on short-term engagement rather than long-term projects. And I get it. The argument is, if you don't have a big following, why put out a 12-song LP? I understand, right? Gone are the days when artists would spend months crafting an album, carefully selecting their beats, working closely with producers. I mean, Doechii created her album in 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. 30 days. Can you create an album in 30 days? The time frames are collapsing, right? And people are focused on singles. I don't know what her process was of doing that, but I do know it was created in 30 days. So people are focused on dropping singles. I mean, and I get it, right? Dropping singles consistently stays in the algorithm, right? It consistently pushes it out. Oh, you got a new single, boom. Oh, you got a new single, boom. You got a new single, right? Versus a collective body of work that you release one time. I understand, right? I get it, right? This shift for us as producers can mean fewer opportunities to land album placements and earn long-term royalties. I mean, decline of album sales has also devalued beat sales. I mean, in the past, selling an exclusive beat could bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But today, most artists prefer to lease beats for cheap rather than invest in exclusive tracks. I mean, with platforms like BeatStars and Airbit flooded with producers offering affordable leasing options, I mean, artists have no reason to spend big money on a single beat. So instead of paying $500 to $2,000 for an exclusive beat, an artist can lease 5 to 10 beats once again for the same price and put those songs out as singles throughout the year. Right? I mean, it is smart though. I'll give it to you. It is smart to do that. And then there's AI, right? With AI generated beats becoming more common, artists have even more options to choose from. You know, often free. I mean, they could just go into Suno and Udio and make a beat and put it out. Now, I don't know what the streaming platforms are going to do in regards to, you know, checking the validity of that song, and I have no idea, right? But can they do it? More than likely they can. I mean, AI tools can now even generate high quality instrumentals in seconds, further driving down the perceived value of human-made beats. I mean, artists once relied on producers for fresh and unique sounds and are now experimenting with AI music tools to create instrumentals on their own. I mean, major labels aren't even helping either, right? I mean, labels are cutting budgets for producers. They're preferring to work with, you know, their own in-house teams or to buy beats in bulk from producers who are wanting to work for, you know, lower fees. I mean, hey, you want to sell me 10 beats for this price? Cool. You know, in some cases, producers aren't even being paid up front anymore. Labels expect, you know, for them to take months or even years to materialize to pay them those royalties off of those beats. I mean, who wants to be a music producer in 2025? That's the thing, right? Like, if you're thinking about being a music producer, you got to have some tough skin to get into this game. I mean, if you're not actively chasing down your payments, you may not even get paid. And that's the thing. So you're going to have a passion for doing this. So how do you survive in this landscape? Customization and direct artist relationships are the key. So instead of relying on random beat sales, and successful producers are really focused on building a relationship with artists and offering custom production packages rather than just selling individual beats. Once again, if you get into sync licensing is a whole nother thing, but sync licensing is a place where you can make a lot of money. Now, it's not fast money. I want to make sure I say that it's not fast money, but you're going to make money when you get those sync placements, because TV and film people don't play around. They don't play around like artists. They're not artists. They're not going to Can we nickel and dime you down for this beat? No, they can say, here's the budget, here's what you can get paid. Boom, you got the beat. Let's make the transaction. Put in your sound library, or if you're working closely with a music supervisor or a music licensing company, it's a done deal, right? They don't nickel and dime you and do all that other stuff. So you could tap in to that market because it's not going to be affected by the declining beat sales. Sample packs, drum packs, MIDI kits, also a reliable way. Now, just make sure you're not stealing other people's sounds and drum kits and stuff like that and putting them in yours and trying to sell them, right? I think DJ Payne 1 talked about that in one of his episodes where somebody made a sample pack and sent it to him and then include his own samples in there. Come on, y'all. We got to do better than that, producers. That's crazy, right? How you gonna take somebody else's sound and put it in your sound pack, tweak it a little bit, and try to sell it or send it back to them? But here's the deal, is that producers can make more money selling sound kits than they can beats, and that's wild. I mean, at the end of the day, traditional beat making is, I don't know. I mean, trying to sell your beats in that way, just trying to sell them and get paid I think that model is probably dying. I mean, you're gonna have to figure out how to adapt and innovate and offer more than just beats to actually thrive. You gotta figure out other ways, not these outdated methods, but other ways to continue. I mean, the industry is changing. Either you're going to evolve with it or you're going to be left behind. All right, so the fifth point that I want to make is all about the pressure of social media and branding. Right? Being a producer in 2025 isn't just about making beats anymore. It's about building a brand. If you're not actively promoting yourself, engaging with your audience, and creating content, you are falling behind. Social media is not an option, and I don't care if you don't like it or not. It is not an option. It is a requirement for success today, which is so crazy, right? When you really think about it, because platforms like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube have completely changed the way producers get discovered. The algorithm decides who gets heard, right? Who is putting out the music. And if you're not constantly putting yourself out there, you're not going to get discovered, right? The algorithm is not going to push you if you're not being consistent. The problem is that this can be exhausting. Producers are expected to post daily content just to stay relevant. I mean, look at your favorite music creators who make content, or your content creators who make music on YouTube, right? Whether it's beat making videos or breakdown videos or tutorials or gear videos. I mean, you constantly have to feed the algorithm to make sure that you are seen. There's a producer that I see make videos all the time. I think this individual makes, I'm not going to say his name, but I think he makes a video like every day and posts up a video every single day. But he's constantly pushing out content all of the time. And he stays in the forefront of the YouTube algorithm. Now, once again, whether the content is helpful or whether the content is not helpful, he's feeding the algorithm to make sure that he is seen. Even if it's just a hit or miss day, right? One day that video might go viral and the next your content can just get buried underneath everything else. So, I mean, some of the best producers in the game aren't the ones making the most fire beats. They're the ones who understand how to play the content game, right? Once again, it's that difference between music creators who make content and content creators who make music. There is a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, figure out which one that you are going to be. Social media has also come with another challenge: comparison. Comparison can be a killer, right? If you just scroll through your feed and you see other producers landing placements and getting millions of streams and making big money and get thumbs ups and likes and all these different things, while you're still trying to grind with little to nothing to show for it. What people don't realize is that social media is just a highlight reel. I think you probably do, but you got to just understand it is a highlight reel. It only shows the wins, but not the struggles. Who wants to show their struggles, right? Struggles aren't glamorous. Nobody wants to. We want to see you win, right? When you're constantly seeing others succeed, that can create self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and mental burnout. And I'm here to tell you, don't compare yourself to somebody else. Do not compare yourself to other people, right? That usually has a negative impact on you as an individual. Not as a producer, not as a human being. Don't compare yourself to others. I mean, you got to really think about this shift, right? I'm talking about the comparisons and thinking about this shift. This shift from music first to content first. Yeah, music is what you do. Content is what's going to push it out. It's going to change the way that producers are valued. Instead of focusing on skill and originality, the industry is now rewarding who can get the most attention. I mean, we see it, right? You ain't got to have the most skills to even get a deal today. You just got to be the one who gets the most attention, have 500,000 followers. This is why you see producers making viral challenge videos and turning random sounds into beats and doing meme style content. It's not necessarily about the music, but it's about engagement. If you're just posting beats with a generic thumbnail and expecting artists to come to you, I don't think that's going to work in 2025. Here's what I dislike on seeing about YouTube videos and people who post up beats on YouTube video or videos in general. Using somebody else in your artwork. Come on, y'all gotta stop that, right? You wanna make a post, the top 5 things artists can do to, really take it to the next level in 2025, but you got Kendrick Lamar on the cover. And the video has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar because the things you're talking about in the video aren't the things that Kendrick Lamar did in order to be successful in the music industry. Stop it. Stop it. You're baiting people into your videos. You know who I'm talking to. Y'all know who y'all are. Stop doing that. That's very misleading, right? Because the video has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. Also, okay, this is gripe time, I guess. Also, stop slapping your logo on other people's video and reposting them and claiming it as your own video. Stop. That's not your video. You didn't interview that person. That's not your clip. Stop. Stop putting your logo on other people's videos. Stop. That's right. I understand. Once again, it is a tactic that people use to get engagement. So I'm going to post up a video of 50 Cent saying something about somebody else, and I'm going to slap my little logo on it, or I'm going to repost it. And I mean, granted, I've done it as well. But what I'm not going to do is put my logo on something that's not mine. I'm not going to do that. So I think people are that's shady. Right? You shouldn't do that. It's not your content, right? It's just not yours. Also, figure out how to make your own content too, right? If you're always using somebody else's content to make content, what does that say about you as a content creator? Can you really make content? I see a lot of that as well. Maybe that's a separate video. I think it's something that's important that needs to be talked about from a social media content creative perspective. If you don't like that, you can skip past this part of the video. It is what it is. So back to talking about social media. So how do you use social media without letting it burn you out, right? Here's some things you can do. First, you gotta work smarter, not harder. And so instead of creating content every day, you gotta batch record your videos and schedule them. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's what I'm doing today. Recording this video, I've already recorded another video. I had on a different shirt. I changed to a different shirt, right? This is not the same shirt I had on in the other video. You gotta batch record your videos and schedule them. That is gonna save you so much time. Create a content day. That is gonna save you so much time, ladies and gentlemen. The second thing you got to do is focus on providing value. Don't just chase trends. Create education that helps artists and educates producers or shows off your unique process in some way. Number 3 for this is that you have to figure out how to engage strategically. You don't have to respond to every comment or DM, but you gotta figure out how to build a real community of people who care about your music. This is more valuable than just chasing vanity numbers. And most importantly, you gotta figure out how to set boundaries. I got a video that's going to be out by the time this video comes out where I talk specifically about setting boundaries. Go watch that. I'll link it up here somewhere because it should be out by that time. So if you feel that social media is making you feel drained, take a step back. Right? Your mental health is more important than the algorithm. The algorithm don't give a crap about you, who you are as an individual, what your mental state is. They just want the content, right? They just looking for that content. Another thing to think about at the end of the day is branding is just as important as talent. Producers who thrive in 2025 are the ones who build a unique identity. You know how to engage with the audience and market yourselves effectively. I mean, it is about branding. It is about visibility. It's no longer just about making beats. It's about making sure people know who you are and why they should care. The game has changed, and if you are not adapting, you are going to get left behind. And number 6, which I believe is my last one I'm going to talk about today, is the mental toll and burnout. Once again, this is all about your mental health. And we know that being a producer in 2025 isn't just a creative job. It is a mental battle. The constant pressure to stay relevant, compete with thousands of other producers, and just to keep up with social media and somehow show you that you're making a living off your music can be draining. And when you really think about it, the music industry is not slowing down. If you take a break, you're going to fall behind. If you're not constantly posting content, the algorithm is going to forget about you. And if you're not landing placements or selling beats on a regular basis, you start questioning if you're even on the right path. Social media makes it worse, right? You can open up Twitter or X and Instagram and see other producers blowing up, working with big artists and, looking at their streaming numbers like, oh, I got 800 million streams. And you're like posting up those things that show you how many streams they got, right? While you're still grinding every single day. And you're like, where's mine at? I'm working just as hard as well, right? But what people don't see are the years of struggles behind those success stories, the unpaid invoices, the months of no placements, the failed projects. Social media only, once again, shows you the wins. But behind the scenes, every producer is fighting the same battle. Burnout is real, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening to more producers than ever. The nonstop grind, the late nights in the studio, the pressure to constantly create, it wears you down. Sometimes you just feel like, you know what, man, F this. I'm going to give up, right? When you started this, it was a passion for you. Now it's starting to feel like a job that you have to do instead of just something that you want to do. And the worst part is the industry doesn't even care. Trust me, the algorithm doesn't care. The industry doesn't care if you're tired. The competition doesn't care if you're overworked, if you're tired. Either you're going to keep up or you're going to be left behind. I mean, and also, I mean, we already know money causes stress as well. I mean, if you're not getting money based upon the work that you're doing, you're going to feel stressed and you're going to feel burned out. And the reality is that most producers aren't making enough to live off their music alone. Some of us are still working side jobs or our main job just to stay afloat, which is, I will always have a main job, right? Unless I'm making millions, I will always keep my main job. And I will always tell you, keep your job as well. There's other producers out here will fool you into thinking that they're, living off their music and they're living with their mom. Don't let social media fool you. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, right? I mean, you got people out there that are spending thousands on plugins and gear and marketing, but they're barely making anything back, which is why I would tell people, just buy the essentials, buy only what you need. And then whatever you buy, you should be making money to pay for that, not spending more money. You should be making money to then go buy that next thing. And that's how it is. And then of course, there's the waiting game for the royalties. It can take months, it can take years to pay out. Some producers got to chase down labels to even just get what they're owed. I mean, when you're working hard, but you're barely seeing any results, it can make, it's impossible to stay motivated. I mean, that's a very daunting thing. I mean, it's when you are working so hard on something, you're not really getting paid for it. I think I felt that myself before, trying to grind every single day and having little to show from it. I think another struggle doesn't get talked about enough is isolation. I mean, most producers work alone. Most producers are spending long hours in the studio. I mean, staring at a screen and pushing buttons with little interaction outside of DMs and emails and phone calls and sitting in their studio eating ramen because that's what they got. I mean, unlike artists who perform live and engage with fans, producers are behind the scene. It's easy to feel disconnected from the world, especially when your entire career is built around sitting in a room making beats. So how do you avoid burnout and protect your mental health? I mean, you got to take breaks. That's the first thing. Non-stop grinding is not sustainable. Step away from the screen, go outside, do something non-music related, right? The next thing that you can do for this is stop comparing yourself to others. Your journey is different from everyone else, and social media isn't a measure of success. Comparisons can be the worst. So don't compare yourself to anyone. And then next, you got to diversify your income. Figure out ways to diversify your income. Financial stress is one of the biggest causes of burnout. So having multiple ways to make money, whether it's sync licensing, sample packs, mixing services, a Patreon, etc., can take off that pressure. You're going to have to, that part you got to really figure out, because that's where you're going to start making a lot of income. And then fourth, figure out a way to connect with other producers. Join a community. Talk to people who understand the struggle. Heck, join We Create Music TV. Join our community. And we are in there supporting one another. I mean, and most importantly, you got to figure out how to set boundaries once again. With social media, burnout is real. Social media can make you feel horrible. It can make you feel horrible because you're looking at what other people have. I mean, your mental health, once again, is the most important thing. It's more important than your follower count. Not taking care of yourself is not going to amount to success. Now, forget that whole thing, I'll sleep when I'm dead and all that. No, you got to get your rest. You got to take care of your mental health. If you don't, how can you be effective? Music is supposed to be creative. It's not just a grind. You got to figure out how to find balance and focus on your own journey. And remember to not burn yourself out and to stress yourself out with all of this. You're not alone in any of this. Now, I'm gonna take a moment. I wanna hear from you, right? In the comments, what's been the biggest challenge for you in 2025 as a producer? And I know we just started 2025, right? And I get it. If you think about 2024, what were some of the biggest challenges in 2024? And how are you gonna deal with those in 2025, right? Drop a comment below. I wanna start a real conversation about this. And if you found this video to be very helpful, take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future content from us here at We Create Music TV. I got tons of industry insights and game to share and conversations that I've had, and you don't want to miss this, right? So until next time, keep creating, stay inspired, and keep pushing the boundaries of music. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.